All right, we're ready to go live here. We are live. Let's see. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on time. Let me just get my phone turned off here so don't get interrupted. How's everybody doing today? Excited to have so many of us with us today. Today we're going to talk about how to access 0% interest money for fix and flip deals, or for wholesaling, or for whatever you might need the money for real estate investing in general. It could be a variety of different things that you may be looking for this money for, but there's a lot of opportunity here in today's market. And I want to stress that in today's market, into what's happening right now, today. So I'm excited to have you with us. But before we get started here, a couple of things. There are just a lot of ways to get access to fund deals. There's more ways than you could possibly think of. And one of the things that drives me crazy is to see great deals going to waste because you can't find the money necessary or the cash to close to make the deals happen. So lots of times we'll see somebody that are just a few $1,000s off of making it happen, $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $20,000. And so this is going to be a way that you can put those deals together that you haven't had in the past. And so I put together this guide to getting funding that won't cost you a fortune. So we're going to be going over that, and prepare yourself to take advantage of potential deals hitting the market in the coming months. So we're going to talk a little bit about the coronavirus and what's going to happen. So there's really one of two things that could be happening here, right? So one thing that could be happening is we could continue to have worse and worse unemployment. And that could affect property values. Or, after this thing gets over in the next month or whatever, maybe 2 months, everybody gets hired back and real estate values come back. And that's where most people are kind of trending right now, but it's up in the air. So we want to be able to take advantage of it either way. If the market goes up or the market goes down, we want to go either way and know what to do. So that's what we're gonna cover here today. So first off, how to get access to, you're gonna walk away. At the end, when you walk away from this, you're gonna know how to access 0% money and do that in the next 2 weeks. Okay. So you're going to walk away knowing how to do that. You're going to learn a secret legal loophole banks don't want you to know about. So this is really, really exciting. And you're going to learn how to do this even if your credit is terrible. And you're going to learn how to put this money to work doing deals in today's market with what's happening with coronavirus and those types of things right now. So first, though, and I appreciate Maria having a shout out here. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you are live with me right now, which a lot of you are, please tell me what city and state you are investing in. So just go ahead and type it in the chat. Give me a hello like Maria just did. Just type in what city and state you're investing in, because I'd really like to know that, because we may be able to target some of that. Also, I really want this to be interactive. So if you have a question, if something's not making sense, go ahead and shout it out. And I'm going to stop, and we'll just kind of keep going for that. And then today's topic is based upon the feedback that you guys gave me. You guys said, hey, this is the number one thing I want to learn about next week. And so that's why I'm doing this. And so please keep the feedback coming, especially thanks, Elton from Detroit, Michigan. Appreciate you being here today. And so at the end, we're going to talk about what topic we want to talk about next week. And with that, we'll get some feedback from you guys. So please keep the questions coming. Charles in Rock Hill, South Carolina, thanks for being with us. Yvonne in Cincinnati, Ohio. Julia in Seattle, Washington. All right, some Seattle. I love it. KAT in Seattle. Anthony in Dallas, Texas. All right, fantastic. Yeah, keep coming. Maria's in New Jersey. We got Chicago in the house. Scranton, PA. Oh man, isn't that where The Office is from, or staged, I guess you could say. John, good evening, everybody. New Orleans. All right, John. Charles, Charlotte, North Carolina. Isaiah, Indianapolis, Indiana. If you haven't done a shout out yet, please, I really want to know where you're at, where you're located at. It's really going to help, and we'll talk about the topic for next week coming up. So if you want to know more about something, please put it in the comments. I am literally watching this so I can cover. If you say, wait a minute, I don't understand that, go ahead and put it in, because if you're not understanding something, somebody else probably isn't as well, and I want to help. If you know something, type it in the comments, we'll cover it. I want to give you what you need. That's the whole point of this. I want to help you get what you need to be successful in this marketplace. The other thing that I would say is, if you like this live cast, please share it. Please share it with someone. There's going to be a recording of this on YouTube as well. It'll be the same link that you're in. So please share it so I can keep doing these. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of equipment to pull something like this off, to have it done with a quality. So please share it. It's a big help to me. We got a few more shout outs. Terry in Baltimore. All right. Frank. We got a yes, sir. Appreciate the smiley face. Central Florida in the house. All right. Yeah, everybody's in the house right now, Jay. Let's see. Wisconsin. Fantastic. So keep them coming. So first thing I want to start off with, I do this quite frequently. I want to just give a little bit of an update on the coronavirus from my perspective. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of fear mongering that's out there. And I'm not suggesting at all that we should be avoiding this, but I think you should just know. So this is my take on it. So here we've got a map. The dark states are states that have some type of restriction. The lighter states have mild restrictions that are going on. So you can see this thing is spreading across the country. So more states are moving to a stay-at-home, and we're going to see it increase. It's still on the increase, and this is really to be expected from my perspective. This was something that I was planning on. So kind of the update on the coronavirus. BBC reports China is getting back to business. I really like that. They're getting back to business. And ESPN's reported that pro basketball in Asia is back, and they're amid the recovery. So pro basketball is back, and CNET reports that clinical trials for potential vaccination are happening in Seattle right now. So shout out to my friends in Seattle that are with us. So they've got some clinical trials going. We've seen China's kind of up and over this. So we're seeing a lot of good stuff that's going on here, although in the United States, we're more early on in this. Actually, I'll show you here in just a minute. This is the updates on China. So January 22nd to March, here we come in March. You can see it hit the spike. Now, this is new cases, right? This is new cases that are happening. And so a 103-year-old Chinese woman is reported to have recovered from the virus, which I think is really important because she didn't have any other major health problems, and so she actually recovered, which is really cool. And then the China graph, we've got it right here. New cases are in the hundreds, and they're going down each day. January 24th, we saw the first cases, and you can see here in March, they're dwindling down rapidly. March 4th, there was fewer than 100 cases, and so about a 35-day cycle on that. This is the active cases. You can see those active cases. This was last pulled on March 28th when I was prepping for this, but you can see these active cases are getting back down to very, very little in China, which is what we love to see. And the infection, at the peak, there was 58,000 people, and now it's down to 3,460. So you can clearly see why things are getting back to normal here. This has been about 60 days, and this too shall pass. That's the big thing. There's an excellent phrase. I really like this. Summer bodies are made in the winter. And so the idea is, hey, if you want to look good in the summertime, you want to put your swimsuit on and look good, you got to do the work in the wintertime to get there. And I'm saying that right now. So fall real estate profits will be made in the spring. And that's basically what we're looking at right now is how can we prepare ourselves to make the profits. And, the guy or gal that's looking good at the beach didn't do that overnight. They did it in the wintertime. And the guy or gal that's going to be looking good with real estate profits this fall is going to be doing it right now. And so what can we do to prep ourselves so that we can be ready to be making that money? And what you do now will have a major impact on what's happening for the rest of the year. I want to show you this. This is the United States peak of the virus. So this is kind of what we're looking at. These are all estimates, but they are reporting April 15th is what they're hoping right now will be the peak of the virus. So that'll be the most people in the United States that will be affected at one given time. And one of the things I really look at is new infection rates. So, and then you'll see that it starts coming off. So April 15th, let's see here, that's April 1st right here, and this is May right here, and this is June. So you can see it's really coming to a close here in June based upon the modeling. And obviously the modeling's not perfect, but it gives us a good idea. It could be worse than this, it could be better than this, but based upon predictions, and this is getting updates, so I'm getting real time. So, I think April is going to be kind of a crazy month here. There's going to be a lot to do, and through May, it's going to get a lot easier. And by June 1st, I think is what we're looking at. So it just depends, and it's going to be different. It's going to be regionalized based upon where you're located. Okay, let me just jump back over to some some chats we've got coming in here. Columbus, Ohio, Phil, glad you're here. Jackson, Mississippi, I like it. John, thanks for being here. Edith, we're Augusta, Georgia, love it. Denise, Tampa, Florida. Florida's in the house. Terry from Baltimore, got it. Frank, let's see here. Central Florida. Oh, we went through that. Let's see. Is my thing not scrolling down here? Because I want to see. There we go. Okay, and Corpus Christi, Texas, I like it. This is day 3 for me. I just on board, learning as much as I can fast. John, happy to have you. So, okay, keep the comments coming. If you've got some questions, feel free to post them. Here's the thing I want to talk about. 10 things you can do to profit right now. What can we be doing right now to profit? So, number 1, go make offers. I can't stress this enough. Go make offers. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go to the property. You can actually make offers virtually. So, and you want to negotiate hard, like really hard. You want to use all the pandemonium, all the craziness right now to say, you know what? You need to take a serious discount on your property. That may get you the best deal you've ever gotten in your entire life right now. So you want to do that, and you can do that virtually. You can make offers virtually. If you want help on that, check out our membership. And then get long closing timeframes, like 30 to 90-day closing timeframes. Hey, you've got courthouse that are closed down or on short staff. You've got title companies that are on short staff. You got all this stuff. Give me 90 days to get this thing closed, but let's negotiate and get a price locked in now. What's really important is that you get a signed contract and you get the 90-day close or maybe a 60-day close and you get a price locked in. But, and this is my next thing, get a long earnest money deadline. So get your earnest money for 30 to 80 days. You don't want to lose any earnest money. What you want to do is tie up contracts so you have the contract but be able to get out of it. See, when we make a contract, we have the right to remove ourselves based upon our inspections and due diligence deadline. So let's give 90-day contracts and give ourselves 80 days for due diligence, and then we'll just hang on to it. Get a whole bunch of contracts, get them signed, negotiate hard, hang on to those. And then next month or the month after, we start relooking at things, relooking at values. If values go down, we say no thanks, or we renegotiate with them and we get our earnest money back. If values have gone up or they look like we were thinking, we go ahead and close on the deal. So that's how we can take advantage of the situation right now. The other thing is improve your craft. We offer all kinds of trainings for valuing properties, finding properties, rehab bids, wholesaling, partnership. I mean, those are all things for our members. And then attend the weekly podcast attend the live cast. As long as we have support and demand for this, we'll keep doing that. So they're going to be Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Find a partner with cash or credit or both. I can't stress this enough. Right now, with what's happening in the financial markets, there's a lot of people that are relooking and saying, "Do I really want to be in the stock market? Things are going up and down all the time. What if I got involved in something that's tangible, like real estate, like houses?" And that's one of the things is real estate. Everybody needs a place to live, and so you can go find partners and say, "Get out of the stock market. Stop spending money in this. Make some investments. Here's some real estate." And we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. The other thing, and we're going to deep dive on this today, is take advantage of the 0% money. This is just a little legal loophole that you're going to be able to take advantage of, and you're going to be glad you did. MLS Sniper, we talked a little bit about that last week. We can do a deep dive on that if you want to know more. So if you do, just type in MLS Sniper. And then using seller financing. So if you really want to take advantage of things today, you can close using a seller financing model. And that's something we could also do a deeper dive on if people have interest in that topic. And then preparing yourself for cash flow acquisitions. So this is learning how to manage properties, but it's also cleaning up your credit or doing some of those things that can help you in getting ready for cash flow investments. So these are 10 things that you can do right now. And so what I'd like to do, let me do a couple of shout outs. We got Peoria, Arizona, and we got Atlanta, Joyce in Atlanta, Georgia. Appreciate you being with us today. What I'd like to know of these 10 things, what is something that you're planning to do? What is something that you're going to do out of these 10 things so that you can get that beach body coming so that you're ready to go so you can make the profits as things come on. And Alta, MLS Sniper, love it. Yvette, MLS Sniper, great. We'll be talking about that. We'll see which one gets voted up the most. So, okay, I got to get a drink. How to get 0% money. I want to talk about how this works. Okay. Let me just start with a personal story. Early on in my investment career, I met a guy named John. I'm not going to say his last name, John J. We'll just call him that. His last name did start with a J, but John was super educated. John was super, super smart. John owns several rental properties, mostly duplexes and fourplexes, and John was a role model to me. Also, John was a really, really frugal guy, like a really frugal guy. As a matter of fact, John was so frugal that when the 2002 Olympics came to Salt Lake City, they had lots of this red carpet. So you had all the dignitaries and you had all the athletes and all this stuff. And when they did the opening ceremonies, they had everybody walking down on this red carpet. And they've got their flags and they're wearing the awesome uniforms and all this type of stuff. And so they've got all this red carpet. So this was brand new red carpet, right? And with this brand new red carpet, after the Olympics came, they had this red carpet. It was brand new. They had it nice for the Olympics. They rolled it all up and they donated it to a Goodwill store called DI, Deseret Industries, okay? So John, my buddy John, what does he do? Do you want to know where that carpet ended up? It ended up in John's rental properties. You see, John went over there to DI, made a deal with them, bought the carpet, moved it into some storage facilities, and all of his rental properties have this bright red carpet that the dignitaries and the athletes walk down, and he's got carpet for a long, long time. Now, I'm not suggesting you should do this. I mean, these were not A-class rental properties, right? These are C and D-class rental properties, and he was just trying to keep as frugal as possible and have a nice, clean place for people, but it wasn't like going to the Marriott or something like that, right? So that's what John did. John put these into his rental properties. So John was great with his money. John knew how to save his money, and John was fantastic with his money especially. So then all of a sudden, John started doing some lending deals, okay? And he would give people money to do fix and flips. Sometimes he would give second loans. So they would get a first with a hard money lender and he'd bring in $20,000 for the rest of it. And then all of a sudden he had a bunch of money and a lot of it, like $400,000 extra. And he was doing all these deals. And so one day I'm like, John, like, where did you get this capital from so quickly? Like, what happened? Like, I know you've got a bunch of properties and I know you're cash flowing. I know you're doing a good job, but it's almost like you just got a whole bunch of money and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, where did you get it? So John pulled me to the side and it was almost like a secret, right? He's like, I don't want you to tell anybody. He didn't want anybody else to hear this. And he said to me, I found a legal loophole to get 0% money. And I'm like, are you kidding me? 0% money? That's not even possible. And so he said, it's called credit card finance. And I kind of fell off my chair. I'm like, what are you talking about? Credit cards are high interest. Credit cards don't work for real estate. Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is insane. Because all my life, there's this credit card stigma, right? So there's this, I thought credit cards were bad, right? People that use credit cards are people that can't afford things. My family taught me pay off a credit card each and every month, which is a good policy. I thought credit cards had high interest all the time. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? You must be insane right now. And so I went out and I did the same thing. So what John did is he went and got credit cards and he got them to use them as if they were a line of credit. And so this is something most people don't even know exists or don't even know how to do it. So when I had the money out, I had some or no interest. So basically I did the same thing. I went and got credit cards and I used them like lines of credit. And some of them I'm able to actually do real estate. All of them I'm able to do real estate deals. So the cool thing is when I'm using the money, I pay 0% or sometimes some interest depending upon what card it is. And then I pay it back and I pay no interest. And then I take it again. I don't have to get a new loan. I take it again. I do some real estate and then I put it back and then I take it and then I put it back. So it's like this line of credit. But the thing is, getting a line of credit can be really, really difficult for most people. So what you do is you get credit card financing. And I'm going to go in deep with this. So stick with me. Stick with me through this whole thing. So what can this money be used for? Before I jump into that, let me just see. Baby is throwing a fit. Looking forward to finish this up this evening. Phil, good luck with the baby. We'll be having a replay, or you can watch it anytime on YouTube. I have no idea what MLS sniper is, John. If that gets voted up, then we'll do it, but we'll make that determination. But MLS sniper is basically finding properties very easily using the MLS, which is typically the worst way to find properties without ever having to see the property. So we'll get in detail with that if it gets voted up. So what can this credit card finance money be used for? And the answer is literally anything. Like, you could go to Vegas, other than Vegas is pretty much closed down right now, but you could go to Vegas, bet on black if you wanted to. Now, that's not what you should do. This is not a gift. This is a loan. You're going to have to pay this money back. But the important thing is, most people think, well, if I get a credit card, I can't use that for real estate, which is true unless you do it the right way. If you use it like a credit card finance, which we're going to deep dive into this. You can use it for evaluation. You can use it for marketing. You can send postcards. You can do skip trace. You can do those different types of things. And then get this, you can use it for cash to close. Most people don't realize you can use it for cash to close. There's a special way to do that, and that you can use it for cash to close. You can't just take your credit card to the title company and say, hey, put it on my credit card. That does not work. The other thing you can do is you can get a cash advance. But the problem with a cash advance is that's typically only a small amount of the available credit. So if you have $10,000 on a credit card, they'll give you a cash advance of like 20%. And it's typically at a very, very, very high interest rate. When we talk credit card financing, you don't have to deal with that, and you typically have a low interest rate, and we'll get to how long 0% lasts and those types of things. So with the credit card finance, you can tap into all the funds, not just a portion of the funds. And then cash advance is typically at that higher rate like we talked about. And then we have a way that you can convert the funds from credit card that can be ACH'd or wired over to the title company for closing. And that's a special way of doing that, which makes that very accessible. This is huge. This is huge. So it's typically really hard to get lines of credit. If you can't get that, you can use credit card finance. That credit card finance can be used at 0% interest, and that credit card finance can be used for real estate. It can be used for marketing. It can be used as cash to close, and we're not talking about doing it as a cash advance, and we're talking about doing that in the most cases at a 0% interest rate. This is a game changer. It was a game changer for John. It was a game changer for me. I'm letting you in on this little secret that I don't really want you to tell a bunch of people. This is just a secret that has worked for me, and I know it's going to work. So you can use this money for down payment. You can use all of it for a down payment. So how does this all work? So there's a few ways that you can do this. So you get the credit card offers in the mail saying you can get it for 0% interest. Now, you can do that. You can apply and send that in. There's some downsides to this. You're going to get a small amount of money, maybe $5,000 or $20,000. Your 0% interest will be for a short time. So the best way to do this is to use a consultant and a software with a logarithm. Banks are changing all the time. You put your information, it builds a profile, and you can submit it to the right banks using your profile. So you can get the most money at the lowest cost. That's the best way to do this. And most of the money, you want to get the most amount of money with the lowest cost. That's really what we're trying to accomplish here, is how can we get access to this money with as little as possible and with as little interest as possible, and get as much money as we possibly can, because this money can be used for anything that's going to help us with our real estate investing business. So let's talk a little bit about cost, okay? So I recommend using a consultant to help you, one that has the logarithm, relationships with the banks, lots of experience. And to do that, there is an origination fee. So there's a cost of getting that money. Just like when you get a loan from a hard money lender or you get a loan from the bank, there's a fee called an origination fee. And a fee is what's charged to end up getting the funds. And so when you do that, you pay an origination fee, which is also known as points. With credit card financing, there is also an origination fee, but there's a big difference. With credit card financing, there's a one-time origination fee if you're working with a broker, but you can use the money time and time and time and time again. So typically, if you go get a hard money loan, you're going to pay an origination fee when you get the loan. And then when you pay the loan off, you get another loan, you're going to end up paying another origination fee. Then you pay that loan off. And then if you get another hard money loan, you'll pay another origination fee. So the cool thing about the credit card financing is it's a one-time origination fee, and you can use the money typically time and time and time and time again for 3, sometimes up to 5 years without having any other origination fee with that. So it's a one-time origination that lasts for 3 to 5 years rather than paying it off every time. And you can use that money. You could take that money and you could do a real estate deal, and then you could pay it back down, and you could take the money again, no origination fee. It's a one-time origination fee to get all the money. Then you can take the money, pay it off, take the money, pay it off as many times as you want to within about a 3 to 5 year period. It's different with each bank, and that's part of what the consultant can help you out with if that's a direction that you want to go. So let's talk just for a minute. How long does this 0% money last? How long is it going to last for? And the answer is 6 to 24 months. It just depends on what you can get approved for. So the duration of most of the credit card financing is going to be 3 to 5 years, but that 0% is going to be anywhere from 6 to 24 months, depending upon what you get approved for. And I'm going to talk about how even with bad credit, you can still get access to this. So stay tuned with that, because even with bad credit, there is a great way to take advantage of this, and we're going to talk about it as well. Okay, if you've got questions, make sure you throw them down here in the chat. Acquire lengthy contracts. Yeah, Joyce, get some lengthy contracts. Thanks for posting that in there. So let's talk about this just for a minute. I just want to compare hard money loans versus credit card financing. So if you got a hard money loan and it was $100,000 and your origination fee was $5.5, that'd be $5,500, and it was a 6-month loan, your monthly cost per loan would be $917 in origination fees. You typically pay the origination fees up front at 36 months, so it'd be $27.78. So it's a third of the price. And even if you had the hard money loan for a year, it'd still be half the price. So you can see this idea of having a longer duration really spreads that origination fee out over. Use this cash to close in connection with your hard money lender. So let's say you could get a loan for $80,000, but you needed $90,000 to make the deal happen, or $100,000 to make the loan happen. You can use your hard money and you can use your credit card finance so that you have zero cash to close. You get 100% financing. It's a combination of hard money and it's a combination of your credit card financing. So this will get you more no money deals out of pocket. So if that's what you're going for, this is a great way to do that. You can leverage that. And so let's just talk about a deal here. This is just for example purposes, but let's just say $100,000 purchase price. The rehab is $50,000. Your closing costs are $10,000. Your payments are $10,000. So you need about $170,000 to make this deal happen. Let's say the after repaired value is $225,000. So let's say you can get a 70% loan amount of the after repaired value. So it's $157,000. Now, unfortunately, that $157,000 is not going to cover the whole $170,000 that you needed because it's 70%. But you're short $12,500. So if your only way to get financing is to get the 100% and get a lender to give that to you, you're going to lose out on this deal. But there's a whole lot of profit in here that you could take advantage of, right? But there's $12,500. So how could you come up with that? You could use credit card financing for this. So the deals that you couldn't have done. So there's deals out there that you missed just because you were a few $1,000s short because the numbers don't work. You see, if a hard money lender is going to give you 100% of the purchase, the rehab, and the closing costs, it's got to be a really, really good deal. But what if it's just a good deal? What if it's a really good deal, but not a really, really good deal? How are you going to take advantage of those deals? And credit card financing is the way to do this. So these deals have profit, but they're not profitable enough to get that 100% financing because 100% is 70% of the after repaired value, and that has to include the purchase, the rehab, the closing costs, and the payments. Now, if you can't get all of that, there's a gap, and this is how you're going to help fill that gap. With this, you can get credit card financing to cover it. So you have 100% financing with hard money and with your credit card finance, which is amazing. Let's see, John, how is it no money out of pocket if you have to pay the origination fee? Fantastic, John. The idea is that origination fee is part of the cash that you're getting. It can be financed. So you'll have to pay for it, obviously, but you're not going to have to come out of pocket for that. So let's say you get approved for $30,000 and your origination fee is $3,000. Which that's high. Let's just say that it is. That $3,000 will be financed, and then you can just make payments of principal if it's a 0% interest. If you invest that money, get a return on that money, then you can pay it off. So there's still that origination fee. You'll pay that out of proceeds or profits as time goes on, or pay minimum payments along the way. So the idea is how you can do it without any money out of your pocket, and the way you do that is finance it. So it gives you the ability to do deals that you would not. Great question, by the way, John. So keep them coming. If anybody's got a question, jump in here. So this gives you the ability to do deals you wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. There's so many of these deals that are profitable, but they're not profitable enough to get everything funded. There's lots of deals that are just the deals that are base hits and not home runs. This gives you the ability to do that. So it gives you a lower cost of money as well. So if you're hard money, if you're getting charged 12% or 15% or 18%, you're going to be paying a lot less than you would if you get a 0% credit card financing. If let's say that your loan's for $100,000, your purchase and acquisition's $100,000. If you get a hard money for $80,000 and you're paying 15% interest on it, and you put down $20,000 with your credit card financing at 0% interest, you're going to be paying a lot less interest overall, which is going to increase your profits in the overall deal because you're accessing that 0%. The other thing you're going to find is it's going to be easier just to get approved and get the hard money loan closed when you've got some of that additional capital coming to the table. So you'll typically have lower fees with a hard money lender. You'll typically have less money that you're paying in interest to the hard money lender. So it actually balances out, and the hard money lenders are excited to have that because they've got some more capital coming into the deal. So I hope that helps as well. If you've got questions, again, shoot in the comments. Love to answer these. It gives you this capital for marketing and lead generation to get good deals. So one of the things I find is some people just don't have the capital to go do some marketing. And one of the things you need a good software. Investor's Edge is amazing. Our members have access to that. So Investor's Edge works really well. But then you want to do some skip traces. Well, skip traces are going to cost you 15 cents or 30 cents. You want to do some postcards. Those are going to cost you 50 cents. How do you get the money to do that? Well, using this credit card financing, you can actually use that money in order to do some of the marketing, which helps you escalate your real estate investing business and start finding those deals. It gives you the ability to have money for cost overruns. One of the things that it just makes us sad is when we have a borrower and they're doing the deal and they run into a problem. Let's say that the main line for the sewer backs up and has an issue and has to be replaced, and there's $3,000 or $5,000. Once you close on the loan, we can't just go and give you more money. Neither can any other hard money lender out there. So then you have to find a way to come up with that. And so credit card financing gives you some leverage where you actually have a little bit of money and say, hey, no problem. I'll pay $3,000 for that. I'll take it off my credit card line of credit, my credit card financing, and then when the house sells, then I can pay it back. And so it works well, so you have access to capital. It also gives you money to pay contractors along the way. Most hard money lenders are going to allow you to do draws, but they're going to want to make sure the work's done. They're going to want to make sure it's done correctly, do an inspection. So the contractor is going to have to float materials or part of the materials, or you're going to have to float as part of those materials. Lots of contractors that have lots of money will float those materials, but you're going to pay a lot more for the contractor. They're going to be more expensive. Whereas if you can float some of those materials, you could get a less expensive contractor to do the work. See, big contractors have lines of credit. And so the big contractors are going to put that money on there and they're going to do the deals, but they're going to charge you more in their profit margin in order to recoup that. Your smaller contractors aren't going to have those lines of credit. This is going to allow you to have your own money so that you can use that money you can negotiate more with the contractor so you can pay less to your general contractor. Cha-ching, another way that you're making money by using credit card financing. We've talked a lot about it's going to save you in your hard money costs. We've talked a lot, it's going to save you with your contractors and some of the pricing. So all these things, that one-time origination fee is going to get, you're going to be able to get an ROI or return on investment on that time and time again through this process. So another thing, if you got questions, again, throw them into the comment section here in the live chat. Lack of capital. The number one Investopia says the number one reason that small businesses fail is because a lack of capital. And we see that time and time again where it's just like, man, I'm 10 grand short of making a deal happen. And so you want to have this in your back pocket and you want to have it before you even find a deal. So we see it all the time. Somebody has a great deal, but they're 10 grand shy of making it happen. Don't be that guy. Have the 10 grand ready to go and do that through your credit card financing. Or they have an unexpected problem with a property. We talked about the main water break, and then that turns into a big disaster. You want to make sure you've got access to the capital. So cash is king, and that's what's going to help you as you go through some of these rehab projects, is to have the cash, and the way you can do that is through your credit card financing. So how long does 0% last? It depends. You know, we talked about this a little bit earlier, anywhere from 6 to 24 months. But the important thing isn't the 0%. The 0% is really exciting. But the 0% is not what I care about. What I care about is having the ability to do a deal I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. If it lets me do a deal that I couldn't have otherwise done, I don't really care what I'm paying in interest. The important thing is having the availability of cash. That's what stops most people from succeeding. So let's say we're going to make a $33,000 profits. Let's say you had a deal and you could net $33,000 in profit. That was kind of our average last year. But let's say you're $20,000 shy to make it happen. How much would you pay to get that $20,000? So you're $20,000 shy of making $33,000. Well, how much would you be willing to pay to get that $20,000? Well, I'd be willing to pay a whole lot of money to do that. So the answer is it really doesn't matter how much you pay, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%. It really doesn't matter how much you pay. It matters how much you make. How much are you going to make on this deal, not how much you're going to end up paying on that. And lots of people, they step over dollars to pick up pennies. And that doesn't help you at all. Be more worried about how much you make than how much it's going to cost you. So this is an example. At 25% interest. I'm even going to show you an example at 50% interest here and how much you pay. So we've got the same deal. It's a $100,000 purchase rehab. This is the exact same deal we talked about. $225,000. You can get a loan for $170 or $12,000 shy. Okay. You've got agent fees, seller fees. You're going to profit. This one shows $38,000. Okay. So let's say you paid 50% interest on that $12,000. That means you would pay $3,125 at 50% interest, right? Nobody's going to pay 50% interest. So at 50% interest, you would pay $3,125 to come up with $12,500, which would take your profit from $38,000 down to $35,000. Would you be willing to pay 50% interest on $12,500 in order to get $38,125 in profit? Heck yeah, I would. Okay. And then you've got this other one at $6,250 is over 12 months. That's 50% interest. So you'd end up making $32,000. If it's over 6 months, then you'd end up making, that's only a 25% interest. And then you'd end up making $35,000. So you can see the issue isn't how much it costs you. What's important is how much you can get and giving you the ability to do deals that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And if you end up getting this money at 0% interest, you wouldn't even pay for that. So let's say you got 0%, let's say you got 0% interest for 6 months. Let's just say 0% for 6 months, and you got $30,000 and it cost you $3,000, which is way too high. You're not going to pay that much in origination fees. It's $3,125, so it's $3,000 origination fee. Basically, that first deal, you're going to end up paying for your origination fee. So that is huge. Again, it's more important. It's not what you pay for the money. It's that you have access to it, and that gives you the ability. You literally could pay 50% interest and still make a ton of money if you have access to the deals, if you have access to make these real estate deals happen. And that's what I'm seeing. People are shy 12 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, whatever the case is. This will bridge the gap through the credit card financing. You've got what's considered bad credit. We're going to get all into credit and the different types of credit and that type of stuff. So hang there with me, and we'll get into it. If you got questions, please chat them in. Okay, so again, most people get 0% interest for 6 to 24 months. So you usually won't even have to pay that interest. And if you take care of your lines of credit, you'll get between 8 to 20% after that, depending upon your situation. So it just depends on your personal situation on that as to what they'll turn into after the initial term of the 6 to 24 months. But 8%, 10%, 20%, I don't care what percentage it is. What I care is I have access to cash that allows me to do good deals. That's what I care about. And then once you pay it down, use the money for another deal. Once you pay it down, use the money for another deal. And you could do multiple deals. Let's say you get credit card financing for $30,000 and you put 12 grand on this deal. You put another 12 grand on this deal. You got another 5 grand for incidentals that may come up. You've got 2 deals going at once. So now you've got the ability to do multiple deals. So again, it's not what it costs. It's what you make that's really important with this. Use the same funds time and time again. That origination fee is spread out. So you're not paying that origination fee over just that one deal. You're spreading it out. And what we're talking about is leverage. So I hope you can see how powerful this is. Like, this is the thing that helped grow John's real estate business. It helped grow my real estate business. People don't know about it. It's the little secret that is such a workaround, and we'll show you I'll show you everything on it. So you pay the origination twice and use it time and time again. Okay, Yvette, here we go. How do you take advantage with bad credit? So let's talk about the general guidelines to get approved for something like this and how we can work around if we don't have these guidelines. So number one, credit needs to be around 600. Okay, I'm going to tell you the higher the credit, the better. 650, 700, 700 becomes slam dunk. 600 is questionable, but worth looking at. 650 is a little better. So the better the credit, the more money you'll get, and the cheaper you'll get the money, and the easier the credit card financing will be. So cheaper, easier, and more credit card financing. You need to have a job and a household income. So if you're not working and you don't have money, you're not going to be able to get credit card financing. And so credit has to be established for 2 or 3 years. If you don't have 2 or 3 years of established credit, meaning you're making payments, you pay your cell phone, you pay your auto loan, you pay your house payment, any of that type of stuff. If you don't have 2 or 3 years, it's not going to work because they want to see a credit history. The other thing that's really important here is a credit card financing. They're actually doing more. They're busier right now than they were a few weeks ago. It's not shutting down. It's not, there's more availability right now. You can't be in active bankruptcy. So if you're currently in the middle of a bankruptcy, you can't be, or if you had a bankruptcy, it has to be 5 to 8 years ago. And so those are the general guidelines. Let me just back up real quick. Those are the general guidelines. So if you got over a 600 credit score, if you've got a job and income, if you've had your credit for 2 to 3 years, and if you're not in an active bankruptcy, those things, as long as you fit that criteria, then you're going to be able to get some money more than likely and in credit card financing, especially if you use it right, especially if you work with a consultant that will help you know which banks to put it and everything else. Most of these business lines of credit require a year of business. So great question, John. This is not a business line of credit. This is credit card finance. So there's a big difference here. You can get a business line of credit, but like you said, you have to have established business. I'm not suggesting you get a business line of credit. I'm suggesting you get credit card financing. And so you don't have to have a company. You're doing this all in your personal name. We're not trying to build it out. If you want to try and get business lines of credit, you can as well. This is simply credit card finance, which does not require, you don't have to have a business. You don't have to have seasoning a business. None of that type of stuff applies to this. The business finance is a whole different level. And it's something we could talk about in another live cast if people are interested in that. Okay, so you don't have to have decent credit. If your credit's shot, you don't have good credit, what do you do? And John, I've got your comment here. We'll talk about where to get the credit card financing, those things here in just a bit. If you don't have decent credit, what do you do? I'm going to tell you, you may not love this answer. You have to find someone that does. So the bottom line, you got to find somebody with a 600 FICO score, 650 FICO score. You've got to find somebody who does. Okay, so get a business partner. Find a business partner that will work with you. Business partner doesn't mean they own part of your business, although they could. There are multiple ways to structure business partnerships. Okay. And so our business members have access to business partner training. So please take advantage of that. But there's what are called formal partnerships. A formal partnership is you start a sole proprietorship or an LLC with this person. I put in the time, you put in your credit or cash. Okay, that's basically what happens in a formal partnership. Then there's what are called equity partnerships. These are deal by deal basis. So I find the deal and manage it. You put up your money and or your credit. Equity, we split profits. You get 30%, I get 70%. I get 80%, you get 20%. These are just rough numbers. You could put whatever you wanted to in here. The pros, your risk is lowered. If the deal doesn't go as planned, your risk is lowered. The cons are you give up more profit in an equity deal like this. Now, debt. This is a deal-by-deal partnership again. I find the deal and I manage it. You put up the money and or credit, and we set an interest rate, and then you pay interest. The pro to this is you get more money. The con is you take on more risk. So basically, you're going to somebody, you're saying, hey, you know all that money in the stock market you've been losing? Sell out of that, and let's partner on some deals. So I'll find the deal. I'll do all the work. Right? So there's 3 ways we can do this formal partnership. Hey, you put up the money, you put up your credit, you sign on the loans, I'll find the properties, I'll do the work, we'll split profits, we'll own this LLC together. Or there's that deal by deal. Hey, each time I bring you a deal, you put up the money for cash to close, you put up your credit, you do those types of things. I'll manage it, I'll find the deal, and we'll do a profit split, and you'll get your money back, and then we'll split the profits for whatever profit split you want to do. And the profit split could be 10%, could be 20%, whatever the case is. And then there's the deal by deal partnership, but we do that based upon debt. And the debt is, I'll pay you 10% interest on your money. You give me the money, I'll pay 10% interest on it, and I'll pay all that interest. I'm not going to make monthly payments. I'll make that interest payment once I sell the property, and then I'll do that. Now, how does this partner get their money? Well, you can run into people that have good credit but don't have the cash. They can use credit card financing to get the cash. So again, you could run into somebody that's got money and they could put up the money, or you could run into somebody that's got credit and they could put up their credit, get the credit card financing, and use that capital to then partner with you on a deal by deal as a debt, an equity, or a formal partnership. Again, we've got lots of training on this for our members. So if you're not taking advantage of this, I really recommend that you do. And if you have questions on this, let me know. I want to make sure you understand this. If you have poor credit, find somebody that has good credit. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be somebody that you work with. So a family member, like I said, a friend, a neighbor, a work associate, literally walk around asking people, how's your credit? Have you ever thought about getting into real estate investing? Why don't I make a really, really good deal for you? Because this is an amazing deal for somebody. This is an amazing deal for somebody, okay? Keep in mind how great this is. I find the property. You don't have to go out there and find a property. I'm going to manage the work. I'm going to manage the rehab. I'm going to do all those things. You can approve that you like this deal before you actually fund on it. You use your credit and you sit back and make the money. I do everything else. And you can do this for other people. So this is just amazing way of doing this type of a partnership to help people out. Denise is saying, how does this affect your credit? Just like anything else, Denise, this will help your credit as long as you do it appropriately and you make payments and you don't get yourself in any type of trouble with not making payments or get into lates or anything like that. If you get into lates, it will hurt your credit. If you don't and you make your payments, it will improve your credit. So, and that's also something that the broker can help you out with is knowing how this is going to help your credit and knowing how far to go, what not to do, those types of things. Credit card financing, deal by deal partnership, and let them do it. So when we talk about the partnership, how much money can you get? We've seen members get as much as $70,000. I've even had some people, if they go again on another round, get even more than that. And we've had some people get as little as $7,000. So it really just depends on your personal situations on that, or your credit partner's personal situation, as to how much they can actually walk away with. So it just varies. And again, this is where you've got two ways of doing this, which we're going to get into, but I recommend you working with a broker. So if your credit's bad, find somebody that has great credit. That's just all there is to it, and leverage them and work together. Partnerships are the way things happen. It's the way the world works. Okay, here's my big warning. Don't use this money to go to Vegas. Use this money for investments. If you use this money for investment, it's a wise investment. If you use this money and go buy, clothes or car or go to Vegas or whatever the case is, then you're going to get yourself in trouble with that. You don't want to do that. Make sure you put this money to work. You want to get this money working. You want to make sure that you get that origination fee paid for. You want to get this money working. And by the way, you can get this money working. Let's say you got this credit card finance and you weren't able to find a deal. You could partner with somebody else who has a deal that doesn't have the money. So you could get with somebody and say, hey, I've got this money, but I don't have a deal. I've got 20 grand. Well, I need 20 grand to make a deal happen. Great. Let's formalize the partnership in one of those 3 different partnership ways. Okay. Do this yourself versus working with a broker. I just want to take a minute on this. So you can do this yourself. And I want to show you how to do it. So if you want to do it yourself, the next thing you do is when you get one of those 0% offers in the mail, go ahead and accept it. And then each time you get a new one, once the 0% goes down, you do a balance transfer to a new one you get in the mail at another 0% down. Okay. So that's how you would do this. The pros to this is there's no origination fee. That's really the only pro. The cons, you are limited to the money you can get. You're typically getting just a small amount of money. The other thing is you may get turned down without knowing the guidelines and having a computer system to tell you which banks to go to. So there's actually a logarithm that puts in your situation that says, hey, here's what we can get, here's how we do it, and here's how we structure it. The other thing is you have all the hassle of working with the banks directly. This is a major, major con. You're going to have difficulty in converting the credit card money to be used for down payment money. That's really, really difficult to do if you're not working through a broker that can set you up so you can do that appropriately and do that legally. So that's one of the downsides. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to do the cash advance. Unfortunately, the cash advance is only a portion of what you can get, and it is at a high interest rate. So even if you get a 0%, you'll probably end up paying for a cash advance, and because it's a higher interest rate that they charge for the cash advance. So limited cash advance, we just talked about that. Okay, so if you want to work with the broker, working with a broker, you hire them and they do all the work. The pros are you'll get more money. You don't have to do the majority of the work They have all the banking relationships, options, and computer system to tell you everything. It's easy to convert that money into cash for real estate. The title companies need good funds. They'll do the computer analysis, and the consultant specialist will help you maximize the amount of money and the interest. And they'll do a personalized plan just for you. They'll tell you exactly what you need based upon your circumstances. And the cons are there is a one-time origination fee. But unlike the hard money like we talked about, that one-time origination fee, you can use the money time again, and you only pay that origination fee once. And that origination fee can be financed as to part of the money that you get. So you don't pay it unless you get the money. So if you don't get the money, you don't pay the origination fee, just like a typical loan. So it works out really, really well. But you can do it yourself. I want to give you both ways I'm doing this. I want to give you all the options, the pros, the cons, and what to do on this. So let's talk about some advantages here on credit card financing. You can get money for as low as 0%. You can get your hard money lowered as you use your credit card financing for the rest. So your overall cost of funding goes down. It'll allow you to do deals you may not otherwise have access to or been able to do, like that deal where you're $12,000 shy. How am I going to come up with that $12,000? Use the credit card financing. I don't have good credit. I'm going to find a partner to do the credit card financing, find somebody that's got the good credit. Somebody in your life, somebody you work with, your boss, your coworker, somebody in your life is going to have good credit that if you position and say, let me tell you all these benefits. I'm going to find the deals. I'm going to make sure the rehab gets done. I'm going to do all that. All I need you to do is to get a credit card financing. You get this capital, and then you'll put this money into the deal, and I'll give you a portion of the deal if you want to have lower risk, or I'll pay 12% on your money. Once the property sells, I'll pay you that money. Somebody's going to be really interested in doing that, and not only are they going to be interested, they're going to love you for it because they're going to be making money without having to do a bunch of work. They're leveraging themselves, and that way they can actually get they can make a ton of profit that way without having to do a bunch of stuff. Let's see here. That's current members in the area information. Is this information available? Yes, Marvin, I believe so, but we'll have to get back to you because 2017 was a long time ago. Okay, so someone else with good credit can partner with you. Capital for marketing. So capital for marketing is really big, as we've talked about, and capital for evaluations, inspections. So if you're interested, you can get a free consultation where they'll run through the computer system and let you know it can be done. They will also do a free soft credit pull. So they'll actually pull your credit in a soft credit pull so it doesn't have a major ding on your credit or any of those things. And then they'll do that for free. You won't get a copy of your credit report because you have to have a special license to end up doing that. So if you're interested, go to dohardmoney.com/0-%-money. Again, 0-%-money. You'll just fill out a couple of questions, and then we'll have a consultant give you a call, and they'll go through everything, run it through the computer system, and tell you what can be done. And Marvin, I'd recommend you go here and jump on that and get that going. So again, it's dohardmoney.com/0-%-money. Just put in your name, your info, and then one of the consultants will give you a holler. Again, it's no obligation. Free soft credit, free consultation. They'll tell you what they think you can get. The other cool thing is you can say, hey, maybe they think you can get pre-approved for like $100,000. And you're like, I don't want to pay that much in origination, and 10% is too high. It's less than that. But you may say, why don't I just get $20,000? And why don't I get the 0% interest as long as I can? So there's lots of things that can happen there. So next live cast. So we're running short on time here. So if you want me to keep doing live cast, put in the chat that you enjoy these live casts. Like I said, it's a lot of work. So if you like it, I need to know that because I need to know if it's worth doing. So please let me know if you like it. Secondly, if you like it, let me know what you would be interested in hearing next. So do you want to hear MLS Sniper? MLS Sniper is using the MLS and using agents to find specific properties. You do the research up front, and then you have to make very few offers. Typically, it's 10 to 15 offers. You end up with a contract. That's MLS Sniper. Seller financing is a way you can take advantage of the situation. Wholesaling remotely. This is really cool. You're actually wholesaling properties not where you live, but somewhere else in another state without having to go to the property. Both of those are really important right now as we're dealing with the coronavirus. So this is going to blow over at some point, maybe a few months, maybe a month, maybe a few weeks. I don't know, but that's going to blow over. So next is preparing yourself to buy cash flowing properties, which with this is like credit repair. This is about how to get your management systems in place. If you're looking for cash flow, you're going to want to let us know on that. Business partner deep dive. We talked and we went a little bit on business partner, but we can do a lot more in business partners on this us next time, and how you can get them to help you. How to analyze rentals, how to know if it's a good rental or a bad rental, so you can take advantage of those. Again, beach bodies are made in the winter, and fall profits are going to be made in the spring, and the way you're going to do it is taking advantage of this. How to make offers without seeing properties, and then coronavirus investing in and buying properties remotely, so you're not even in the same city or state where those properties are, or you are, but you can't go see the property. So how are you going to take advantage of those? And something else, is there something else that you want to hear? So if you want me to keep doing this, I appreciate Denise enjoyed it. Marvin, yes. Alton, keep it coming. Good info. Wonderful. TC, I very much enjoyed it. Awesome. Isaiah, I like it. It's extremely helpful. Like it. Awesome. Maurice. Frank, love the livecast. Awesome. Julia, thanks for the thumbs up. Yvette, perfect. Good info. Thank you so much. I want to hear MLS Sniper. Okay, John, if that gets voted up, we'll talk about it. I'd like to hear business lines of credit. Yeah. John, honestly, I would take advantage of the business lines of credit are harder to get and take longer. If you're not getting the credit card financing, take advantage of that. Just so you know, a lot of the business credit starts out with the credit cards anyway, so you might as well start with the credit card financing. A business partner, LLC templates. We have all the templates. I don't know if you're a member, John, but you can get all those templates in our membership. Frank, MLS Sniper, Quinn, how often do you do these? Right now, Quinn, we're doing them every single Tuesday at 6 Eastern, but it just depends on if we're getting enough responses. So if you want to see one of these, make sure you put it in. Whatever the most gets voted the most based upon these comments is what I'm going to do the next one on. And so again, I would like you to take advantage. If you are interested in this credit card finance, just go ahead and get a consultation. Just go over to dohardmoney.com/0%-money, 0-%-money, and you can fill out the information and we can give you a call. One of the consultants can give you a call on that. Also, a little more info. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, please share this live cast with someone else. Share it with a friend. Just send them the YouTube link and tell them to check it out. You could send this to somebody that you're thinking about as a business partner and say, hey, listen to this. It goes through how this works, and it can work really well for us if we're starting this business together. We're going to utilize your credit, and I'm going to do the work. So this would be a great way to do it. And then the other thing is, if you're not a subscriber to my Income Hacker podcast, just go to iTunes, type in Income Hacker or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can even use it on your Alexa. Just say play Income Hacker and it'll play the Income Hacker podcast for you. So if you're not a subscriber to the Income Hacker podcast, you can get more free information. Again, take advantage of this free consultation, free soft credit pull, so you can get this 0% money, so you can leverage yourself in doing more of these real estate deals and making money in today's market. So that wraps us up for today. Please, if you enjoyed this, please tell me. If you want to see some of these other things, I'm just going to go back a slide. If you want to see any of these things, please put down what it is and what you want to see so that we can do it. Let me just see here. How to analyze rents. Okay. Denise, I like it. Marvin, great information. Appreciate you being here. Julia, 1, 3, and 7. Okay, so MLS Sniper, wholesaling remotely. And 7, how to make offers without seeing properties. Fantastic. Maurice, MLS Sniper, fantastic. Wonderful, guys. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being with us. Please take advantage of this 0%. Jump on, get a consultation to see how that's going to work for you, or find a credit partner that's going to do that with you so they can jump on. Again, go to dohardmoney.com/0-%-money. Take advantage of that. Please tell me if you're enjoying this in the live chat. I go through and read all those comments and make sure we do. And please tell me what you would like to see for the next one so that we can do it. Thanks everybody for being here, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place, as long as we've got enough people that are interested in it. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.